Hey everyone, it's Mimi. Happy Friday. I was having technical problems for some reason. My cell phone wasn't letting me use the live portion of this. Okay, so today we have Brandi Dean, who started Right Out Lyme. She also is a Lyme warrior, so she's going to come on and tell us her story. Let me grab her right now. I see her on. And let me get her going. She's from Massachusetts. Why is it not letting me go live? Here we go. Okay. Sorry. I'll do this morning. Um, there you are. Sorry about
Hi,
that.
that's okay.
It's
This is
like
my
Friday
first time
morning.
doing Insta Live, so
Oh no, it's fun too. But it's Friday morning and it's like everything's a little slow today for me. I don't know why.
right.
Got off. But anyway, how are you? Thanks for joining us today.
Good. Thanks so much for having me today.
How are you feeling? Good?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're hanging in there.
Yeah. I know it's
How
kind
are
of
you guys doing
crazy.
on the West Coast?
We're good. We're good. I think we're trying to get our hopes up that we're gonna slowly get out of here, like by the end of
Yeah.
the week or two. So that will be exciting. And but I would love for you. So I met Brandi through the Tick Chicks, just kind of on social media, and I was fortunate enough to go to one of her Ride Out Lyme events right before. Literally, I think it was the Saturday before
Hmm.
quarantine started, out here in Manhattan Beach, which was an amazing ride. It was like the first time I used to, before I got sick, used to ride like, I don't know, 3 times, 4 times a week. And I haven't ridden since I got sick. So it was really powerful to go there and be with
Oh,
other
good.
people who have Lyme because it was okay that I didn't finish. And it was definitely a struggle, but I was so glad I went and attempted to do it. I don't know if I'd be able to go back to a normal uh, class right now. I've been trying to kind of build up at home, but we'll see. But
Yeah.
anyway, I would love for everyone to for you to tell everyone like your story about your Lyme and then why and how you started Right Out Lyme.
Okay, great. So I got sick, I think it was in 2010. I was pregnant with my second son. And I think it was in my second trimester, I started having symptoms that I never felt with my first pregnancy. So I had this feeling like of unsteadiness. I had some heart palpitations, and I just felt off. We just chalked it up to a tough pregnancy. And it wasn't until my son was born in February 2011 and my health got significantly worse. By then, I had vertigo, that would come and go. I remember driving and driving my older son to school, and all of a sudden, I just had this severe panic attack while we were driving through Boston. And, it felt like someone was strangling me. It was like the weirdest feeling because I wasn't stressed. There wasn't anything else going on. And that made me really nervous. I also felt uh, I had, I just felt anxious all the time. And it wasn't until July of 2011, my husband rushed me to the ER because I had numbness along the right side of my body.
Wow.
I felt disoriented. I had vertigo, and my heart was racing. And it was at the ER where they actually, I was lucky, they gave me a Lyme test and it came back positive a week later.
Wow.
However, when I went to my primary care physician, um, after that diagnosis, he had said, "There's no way you have Lyme disease because, the symptoms that you have aren't indicative of a Lyme diagnosis. The vertigo, the heart palpitations. At that time, I didn't have the flu-like achy joints. So my primary care physician suggested that I go off the medication, the antibiotics that I was on. Um, and it was after that that I got really sick. I could barely leave the house. I could no longer exercise. Before my diagnosis, I was doing yoga up until I was 39 weeks pregnant
Wow.
with my second son. I was very active, but I was, by August, I barely left the house. Um, I slowly got better on long-term antibiotics, and during that time, I reached out to other people and started a support group in Boston, um, and um, that grew into something bigger. And then in 2016, I was bitten again,
Oh no.
and by then, I had still been on long-term antibiotics, but I was doing much better, running again. And I remember being at my son's soccer game, and I just felt really lightheaded, and I felt like I was going to faint. And someone in a golf cart came and took me off the field, and my friend drove me home. And soon after that, I was mostly bedbound, but had severe, severe panic attacks and this depression that I had never felt before. I couldn't leave my bed. It was the worst experience of my life. I
Mm-hmm.
think I was sick back in 2011, but I was even worse in 2016. Um, I had done a lot of IV antibiotics, and then eventually decided after 10 months on IV antibiotics, I did the hyperthermia treatment in Germany.
I
And
didn't realize you went there.
yes, yeah, and that I was, functioning at probably 65% before I went there, and it saved my life.
Oh,
I'm
that's
so
great.
much better since having that treatment. Um, so, you know, be, I think as a result of going through something so traumatic, I mean, it affected
Mm-hmm.
my whole entire family.
It's awful, and no one really believes you.
Right,
It's not
exactly.
like you have like cancer. I know cancer's awful, but at least
Yeah,
people understand it. There's a like diagnosis, there's a treatment, there's support.
yes,
It's the
yeah,
same like kind of thing, but there's no support. There's no one believes you. And every doctor you go to is a difference. Like you have it, you don't have it. This is what you have. This is how you should treat it.
oh
So then you
right,
feel like you're
right,
going crazy, right? Because
yeah,
every time you go to, you have 10 different paths you could be taking.
yeah. And the crazy thing too is I can't tell you how many times I had my blood drawn, and everything always came back normal. And I was
Mhm.
so sick. So because everything came back so normal, my doctors said, the majority of my doctors, I went to so many, said it must be anxiety. There's no, you don't have anything. Everything, you look great, you're healthy,
Mhm.
So I was prescribed so many psych meds. Many of them I never even took. I really struggled, and I found that the doctors that helped me, um, they were the Lyme literate doctors, and we had to pay out of pocket, and I'm fortunate that
Mhm.
we were able to afford these physicians. And I got to the point where, I having led a lot of these support groups, met a lot of people that couldn't afford to see a Lyme literate doctor, couldn't afford treatment. And so it was in 2015, um, my friend had been begging me to take a soul cycle class. And this was before my second bite. And um, I was feeling well enough, but I hadn't really done any cardiovascular activity since I was bitten the first time. So I decided to take a soul cycle class. And the thing about soul cycle, although it's very challenging, the instructors are amazing. They're just so inspiring and uplifting, and everybody has a story of challenges that they've overcome. And so I walked out of the class just in tears because one, I had never been able to do anything like that since I was diagnosed with Lyme. It's the first time I felt normal again, surrounded by all these people that were so supportive. And I thought this would be great to bring together like family and friends of loved ones who are suffering and still sick, and raise money for um, to pay for, at the time we were raising money for the Dean Center to offer affordable care for people who needed it.
Mhm.
And so our first ride was in 2015 in Boston, and we've grown from there. In 2017, we had our first ride in New York City, and 2018 we had our first ride in California. So we worked at the Bay Area Lyme Foundation, and we had 3 rides in La Jolla, Manhattan Beach in Palo Alto to raise funds that went directly to our grant recipient program. So now Ride Out Lyme, 100% of our funds raised goes towards adults 26 and older that are in need of financial assistance to pay for their medical needs.
Oh, that's great. Now, how do you decide who gets like selected, or if someone who's listening wants to be considered, how would they go about doing that?
So we have an application that's online on our website, www.rideoutline.org. So our first round of applications have come in. Our deadline was on April 30th. We'll have our second round in August. So we have our grants team. They review all the applications, and then they'll be sent out to our board. So it will be based on financial need. All of our applicants must be 26 years old or older, and living in the United States, and have to, they're required to have a letter from their physician and letters of support from family members and friends, and show a need for financial support.
Right. And then how do you tell them like where you would suggest going to get help, or are they free to kind of do what they want with that money?
So they have to be seen by a doctor. That's really important. So the majority of the people that have applied are already being seen by a physician. And our grants will pay for the doctor's fees or tests or any treatments that they need that aren't covered by insurance.
Oh, that's great. That's great. I remember seeing somewhere you've raised an impressive amount of money since you started. Do you mind sharing that with everybody?
Yeah, so we've raised, I think now about $500,000 since we started.
That's amazing.
Yeah, which is incredible. It's really great to see and meet so many people in every city. It's great to see people that were too sick to ride in previous years that are now riding with us. And raising money, and it's just really inspiring. I love going to all the rides because I love seeing the amount of support from family members and friends who come out and ride for their loved ones. And to also, we have people that have very little knowledge about tick-borne disease. When we first went out to California, our first ride was in Santa Monica, and I'd say half the people there had never really heard about Lyme and didn't think that Lyme disease was in California. So, it's great to meet new people. It's heartbreaking to hear all the stories of people who are just desperate for care, who have loved ones that are very sick at home, and that's very hard. And that's why we're here, to support everyone out there who are struggling to get better and struggling to pay for their treatments.
Right. No, it's funny. We just recorded a podcast yesterday, and the doctor we had on is an LA doctor, and she focuses on Lyme. She sees a lot of patients who have Lyme, and she actually has been bit by a tick hiking in the Santa Monica Mountains that tested positive for Lyme. So she's like, most of her patients that she has who have Lyme have never been to the East Coast. So it is totally like people don't realize Lyme is here. Right. And for people who have joined who don't have Lyme, Lyme doesn't just mean Lyme. And so that's like, It's also like the cofactors of Borrelia and Bartonella and stuff like that. So when you hear Lyme, it's not just Lyme. Exactly. But I really enjoyed going to the ride a couple months ago because like you said, there was just, everyone was so friendly. And I got to meet, even somebody there was like, wait, you're from the Tick Chicks. Like, it was just fun to connect like people and meet with different people. And she had just been recently diagnosed, and she was just like, I just feel so alone, and I feel like everything's so depressed. And she's like, it's just fun to have a community that you can come out. And I think she felt the same way. She's like, when I woke up this morning, I didn't even know if I was going to make it today. And I was like, yeah, that's why you're always afraid to commit to something when you have Lyme. Like even me, those now even still operating at like probably 85 or 90%. So I consider myself pretty much feeling great when it comes to committing to things or like exercise. I'm still super careful about it because you just never know how you're going to feel that morning when you wake up.
Right. That's so true.
So can you tell everybody like because I know right now we're all under quarantine. But when we do get out of like quarantine, for anybody who can go to a ride, I would highly recommend going, even if you feel like you can't go. Like even if you go and just sit on the bike and listen to the music, do it because it's really inspiring. And I definitely was one of those people that didn't get out of the chair much, and I didn't keep putting weight on. So, but it was okay. Like I was there and I was enjoying what it was there for. But can you tell everyone that what you have planned coming up next week? I think for people who are on and want to participate.
So on May 17th, we were supposed to have our ride in New York City. So we have a team of riders that are actually, still fundraising, and we still want to support them. And we also want to support the frontline heroes in New York City. And so on May 17th at noon, you can go to our website and sign up for free. We have a few things going on. At noon, we have a low impact class with Bespoke, and they're going to be leading a class. So all of us that ride out Lyme, as well as our riders in impact mat exercising class. If you're not able to exercise, you're welcome to just be there. And like I said, when people come to ride out Lyme, some people just come to volunteer or just to be there with people. Some people ride very slowly in the back, and that's really fine. Some people just sit on a bike. And so that is at noon. If anyone out there owns a Peloton, we're also taking a Peloton class together. So just follow at Ride Out Lyme, and we'll send out an email. We're going to choose a class on a Sunday to ride together. And then we also have people that are riding in their neighborhoods. So if you can make a picture, make a sign, wear green, snap a picture and send it to at Ride Out Lyme, our Instagram page. We're going to be posting it there. And this is all to support our Lyme warriors from New York City and everyone, but especially New York City, because we're supposed to be there on May 17th.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to put my t-shirt on for my Ride Out Lyme day. We'll put it on next Sunday and I'll wear it and put it on social media.
Great.
This has been so awesome. Is there anything else that you want to share to anybody listening that, anything that they take away?
I think living with chronic illness, living with chronic illness due to tick-borne disease has been really challenging. My son is about to crash this right now, so
that's okay.
Okay. Yes, go ahead, hon.
We're all home. We're all doing it. Like, right? It's good.
Right. It's so important to have support. And when I was first diagnosed in 2011, and then not diagnosed until I really didn't have Lyme disease, it was hard. I felt a lot of people around me didn't really understand what I was going through. And I'm sure some people thought it was all in my head. And I think it's really important. I have made some beautiful friendships that I have met people online, on Instagram and on these Lyme forums that have become my best friends that I can find in all the time. And these are people that are, really uplifting and help me. We help each other through. I still have days like this morning. I had a really difficult day. I woke up in a lot of pain, and for the most part, I'm doing really well. And, I reached out to a friend who did a tapping exercise before we did this interview. And I think it's important to reach out to people and surround yourself with supportive people who understand what you're going through and who are going to lift you up on your bad days. So.
No, that's great. No, it's true. I mean, I think people are watching you and I that we look healthy, and you're not feeling that great. Actually, I'm not feeling that great. My body hurts so badly today. I don't know why. I don't know if there's something in the moon or whatever, because it's just every joint hurts in my body, and I've been feeling really good. And this week has not been that great. So, but we both look like we're feeling fine, and we look normal, and we're talking, but we're still kind of in pain and just getting through the day. So I think people have to feel like, even though people look happy or normal, that doesn't mean inside that's what's going on.
That's so true.
Yeah. But this was
Yeah.
awesome, Brandi. Thank you so much for coming on. And I definitely will ride with you guys next Sunday, the 17th, and wear my
Oh,
shirt.
good.
And good luck
Good.
with that. And
Thank
everyone,
you.
check out Ride Out Lyme. You can even donate there if you can't get on a bike ride, or submit if you're in need of funds. You can submit your application there for August. But you're doing amazing things, and thank you so much for doing this for the community.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me on. And thank you guys for all that you're doing as well, too. So I really enjoy your page and your podcast. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, take care. Have a great weekend.
Okay, you too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.